How the heck you doing, guys? Sports Snippets. Dennis Sullivan. That was a long hold. Wow, I think I'm ready for some karaoke here on a Saturday. It is the 14th of May. Here to discuss Miami Heat. A little bit of an update on my side of things coming from my channel to you. We'll try to make it entertaining as the Miami Heat return to the Eastern Conference Finals with the victory Thursday night over the Philadelphia 76ers, wrapping up that series 4-2. Before I do get started, if you do like the content, this particular video, of course, feel free to go ahead and hit that thumbs up. That would be very, very, very much appreciated. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel as well. Let's get started, guys. So, a lot to feel good about right now. Miami Heat getting ready, resting up for the Eastern Conference Finals. Reason why I stress the word resting, they await the winner of the Milwaukee Bucks Boston Celtics Game 7 to be played tomorrow, as in, because I'm making this video on a Saturday, so this Game 7 will be played on Sunday, and the start time I have is 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So who would we rather play? I don't know. I mean, you can look at both sides. I mean, you could put reasons for why it would be better to probably play Boston. And then you can also do the same exact thing and put other reasons of why it would be better to play Milwaukee. They're both very good teams, highly respected teams. But I want to touch on a few things. And I want to touch on, yes, I want to talk about the Heat, of course, but also want to spend a little bit of time talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. Heard a lot as far as on the radio. I like to listen to a lot of national radio, sports radio. It's fun for me to do. And a lot of talk. There's been a lot of Sixer bashing. I'm not going to really do that on my video here today, but I want to provide you about my professional response to the state of the Philadelphia 76ers. I want to talk a little bit about Giannis and the Bucks as well as the Celtics, excuse me. Talk about that a little bit too. So we got a few topics, going to jump around a little bit. Let's start with the Heat though, guys. Let's start with the Heat. So great series, of course. Heat take the first two games of the series only to fall in games 3 and 4 on the road in Philadelphia, but then come back, dominate game 5, win by like 35 points, and then go into Philadelphia, silence the crowd to the point of, from what I'm hearing, the Philadelphia crowd basically walking out in the second half, like periodically, like every time out they would lose more fans, that kind of thing. And cruised to, I believe it was a 9-point victory in Game 6. Series over, Heat win 4-2. Big difference in this series is the big plus for the Miami Heat, and that is their bench. When you're bringing guys like Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, even Dwayne Dedmon, Duncan Robinson, although he didn't play much in that series. Caleb Martin. I mean, the Miami Heat bench is 2 words to describe the Miami Heat bench: high quality. They have quality players coming off the bench. High quality players coming off the bench. It's a very deep Miami Heat team. All the critics who are saying, 2 years ago, well, it was in the bubble. The Heat wouldn't have made it because they played in the bubble. What's that supposed to mean? Like, other teams couldn't play in the bubble? I don't really know what to make of that. Even this year with the 1 seed, I see this team as being favored. I see that team as being favored. Is it disrespect to the Heat? I'm going to probably say no to that. I put some thought into that. I think it's more the Heat are being overlooked, combined with just a lot of the sports media, for whatever reason, not wanting to accept the Miami Heat as the number 1 seed. Are they going to go to the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 years? I don't know. They have a great chance to do that. Whether it's the Celtics or the Bucks, that's going to be a good matchup. You know for a fact it's going to be a good matchup. But there's a really good chance you're going to have we're going to have home court advantage. Team seems relatively healthy. Let's talk Bam a little bit. You know, for a guy that comes in at 19 and 10 type of averages the last couple of years, I mean, he's close to a 2010 power forward. He's all-star caliber forward for the Heat. He's asked to do an awful lot, guys. So when you see these 10-point games popping up in the playoffs and these 12.7 rebound games popping up in the playoffs, just keep in mind he's mixing it up with Joel Embiid on the other end. I mean, he's basically guarding him in the post, man to man. I recall on Sunday night, which was, I believe, yes, it was Game 4, there was a few possessions. I mean, one in particular where they whistle Bam for the foul, right? They whistle him for, it was just a non-shooting foul. It was away from the ball, actually. They're both, and they're getting tangled up. The arms are flying. I mean, he's really mixing it up. So yeah, Bam, a lot of his maybe offensive focus and energy, for that matter, is going to be taken away when you're asked to guard a Joel Embiid, the premier big man in the NBA. Enough said on that. I mean, that Joel Embiid is very, very difficult to guard. Let's put it that way. So this needs to be brought up in the video, and I'll just close out this little point by saying, Bam, when I say he does an awful lot, you look at the history of basketball, whether it's 20, 30, 40 years ago or today, a lot of times you get a 20-point, 19-point scorer. They're not always asked to guard the all-world big man on the other end, the other side of the ball. They're usually, many times, asked to guard the guy that takes like 5 shots a game, scores 7 or 8 points a game. If that. That's who they're asked to guard. So they don't expend as much energy on the other end. But not Bam, no. Miami Heat, you gotta dig in. You want to get your playing time and you want to be recognized in the Miami Heat, you gotta dig in on the other end. You gotta play some serious defense. Show that effort on the defensive side of the ball without question, guys. Look at Strus. He's a perfect example. Mr. Hustle plays pretty good. Looks like he's playing pretty good defense. I mean, every time I watch him, he looks very focused on the defensive side of the ball. Then he puts together a couple of nice games where he's scoring more points in games 5, game 6. He was one of the big stars for the Heat and is a little bit better in transition, actually, than I thought. I mean, I'd seen him before, obviously, getting out on the fast break and things like that, but he's a good finisher. He goes strong to the basket. So there's other positives to his game that we're now seeing come to fruition, actually, in the postseason. And guys, there's a lot to talk about, a lot of interesting things to talk about. I'm probably going to come back Sunday with another video for you guys to discuss some other things and just matters NBA talk in general. But just to touch on real quick with the Sixers, they had mentioned in the telecast, wow, I took a deep breath after hearing this, and it just made me think. The Philadelphia 76ers have not been to an Eastern Conference Finals since, I believe they said 2001. Are you kidding me? And then I thought back and I said, wait a second, what about Toronto? And that Toronto series with the huge shot by Kawhi Leonard and all that stuff, that was the semifinals of the East. So yes, the Sixers have had good teams, especially over the last handful of years, with Embiid leading the way. But they have not been to an Eastern Conference Finals, let alone an NBA final, in over 20 years. Think about that. And the big loss, guys, let's look at it for what it is. Let's just look at it for what it is. Ben Simmons was the up-and-coming star, rightfully so. Was looking at his numbers before making this video. Whoa, very steady. He's at about career 16 points, just over 8 rebounds, and just under 8 assists a game for his career. You're looking at a 16, 8, and 8 guy, a very good passer. I know there were issues towards the end. I understand that. But his passing ability, his size from the guard position, he shot for his career going into the season. Well, he didn't play, right? So his career spanning four seasons for the 76ers, he would shoot 56% from the field. That's a career shooting percentage for a guard. That's pretty good, taking high percentage shots. What does all this mean, guys? Ben Simmons, this was a huge loss for the Sixers organization. He's only going to be, and I'm guessing, he's like 28, 29. No. He's going to be 26 this summer. It's going to be 26 in 2022. Do you know how much of a loss that was? This was like the future of the Sixers, guys. This was a huge loss for them. Oh, man. Well, anyway, I'm already at a little over 11 minutes in this video. I wanted to talk a little Giannis and Boston. I mean, let the best team win. Game 7. I kind of want to see the Bucks win because I want to see a Buck Heat East Finals. I think that would be real interesting because of Giannis. Giannis, clearly, in my opinion, as I've stated before, is the best player right now in the NBA, and that has been the case for the last couple of seasons. He can single-handedly beat a team in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. He is that good. You know, you see him coming down with the ball, coming down on the break. Here comes Giannis. I mean, the guy is just this physical. It's almost like a machine is coming at the defender, like a truck or something. Here comes Giannis, full head of steam. I mean, it's to the point where, like, who's going to take a charge? Who's going to step in and take a charge on that? On that whole situation with Giannis coming at you. I'm trying to think as I'm putting my words together here at the end of this video what he comes in at as far as a weight goes, right? He's about 6'10", 6'11". Got to be at least 250. He's got to be higher than that, right? Whew. Well, guys, let the best team win that particular series, Celtics Bucks. Go Heat. It was tremendous to watch. A lot of the so-called experts in terms of what we see on TV, and it's some very good NBA basketball experts. They were all jumping on the bandwagon of the Sixers once they tied up the series. It was not meant to be. It was never meant to be. The Heat are the better team. The Heat are the deeper team, much better depth. Jimmy Butler leads the way once again. Fantastic Game 6. So much to talk about, so I'm going to have to check in with you again soon. We will talk soon. Leave me a comment. Bye for now.